Hi, welcome back to Chess Tricky. Today I'm going to show you a really cool trap, a special gambit after e4. It's called the Lockok Gambit from the Philidor Defense. Let's get straight into it. e4, e5, and after knight f3, d6, d4. If pawn takes d4, you can recapture either with the knight or the queen. So it's very simple. Or, if black goes for another popular move, like knight f6, attacking e4, what would you play? We play a move that might surprise your opponent, knight g5, defending the central pawn on e4. So black will usually try to kick your knight away. Where do you think this knight should go? Don't panic, my friend. We continue by sacrificing the knight, double attack. So after the king takes, stay calm. This position is still equal, but in reality, black is very prone to making a blunder, especially if you know the key move in this position. Okay, your move is simply d takes e5, attacking the knight. If pawn takes, black's queen is gone. If knight takes, queen d5 check, then we takes the knight. No good. So the knight has to move. For example, knight to d7. We develop the bishop with tempo, check. There are a few moves for black. They can go king to e8, king to e7, or even push a pawn forward. First of all, if the king goes to e8, this is the worst move. Checkmate in 3 moves. There's no way to escape once the queen moves to h5. In the end, the pawn blocks, queen takes, and after the king moves up, the queen goes to f7, delivering checkmate. Let's go back. Or, what if here king moves to e7? You capture the pawn with check, and after the pawn recaptures, we play a natural development, and if black continues with the same moves, continue by maneuvering the knight to the center, with tempo attacking the king. Here, the king has 3 options to save its life. First, if the king goes back to its home square, it's the same checkmate as before. Then, the queen moves to h5, check, and the only moves, queen takes delivering checkmate. Let's go back. Earlier, the king went to e8. Then, we continue with the queen to h5, check. Or, if the king goes to f7, still, your move is the same. Queen to h5, check. And if the pawn closes, you swing the knight for a discovered check. And also, we attacking g6 twice. And no matter where the king moves, let's just take an example. If the king goes back, you capture the pawn with tempo, it's a check, and again, wherever the king goes, it doesn't matter. You capture the rook with a discovered check, and the only moves then, queen to f7, mate. Let's go back and continue. What if the king doesn't go to e8 and doesn't go to f7, but instead moves up to e6? We invite your queen to go on a little journey and attack the king from the side. And after the king moves back, we keep up the pressure and continue our attack. Discovered check. There are 3 options for black. The pawn blocks, or the king goes to e7, or even if the king goes to f6. No matter what, your move stays the same. For example, king f6. The queen moves to e6, mate. Okay, let's go back. After the bishop to c4 check, what if black responds by pushing a pawn to block the bishop's attack? Please go ahead and pause the video. What should be played next? Because if you make the wrong move, clearly we lose a knight, and your chances of winning the game will be very difficult. Are you ready? The winning move is to push the pawn, creating a double attack. So after king takes, we recapture the pawn, of course, and it's check. And no matter where the king moves, whether it's to f6 or e7, let's just take one example, f6. It's still checkmate, guaranteed. How does this gambit work so effectively and brilliantly? Okay, let's go back and continue. After the pawn attacks the king and the knight, what if the king doesn't capture the pawn? Explain, you then capture the knight. Okay, let's just take one example. The king moves back. Look, here your queen is being a bit lazy, so it needs some exercise. We bring it to h5, check. Whatever black does, whether the pawn blocks or the king moves, you still win. Continue with queen to f7, check. And after that, the only move, Once again, please pause the video. What is the winning move? If you find this move, it means you are smart. The pawn to d7 here ensures that black's queen is finished. Will you be able to do it? Bro? Here the bishop or the queen can capture the pawn. Okay, let's take an example. Whatever it is, for instance, the queen captures the pawn, delivering mate. You win! Okay, let's go back. Or, if the king moves here to a safer and more hidden spot, we capture the pawn that is threatening our bishop. It can be followed by the pawn capturing the knight and check. And the problem for black here is that the knight can't go anywhere. For example, it can't attack the queen. Now, of course, you will get the queen for free here. Or, if there is a counterpunch against your queen, what happens then? Here, your move is very, very simple. You can push the pawn, creating a discovered check. After, for example, the pawn takes your queen, you recapture black's queen, and automatically your pawn reincarnates into a queen. Also, besides pushing the pawn, another move is to bring the queen back to f5, with the idea, or still the threat, of the pawn capturing the knight, creating a discovered check. And again, the knight can't go anywhere. Clearly, the pawn is pushed, check, and we will get the queen. Here, of course, black must resign immediately because there will be no counterplay and the position is really, really bad. Whatever it is, let's take an example, say, the queen to e7. We capture the knight with a discovered check. Here, the king can't go anywhere, so the queen must be sacrificed. And no matter what, the queen sacrifice leads to checkmate. Then the bishop captures the queen. Game over, you win! We go to the last option for the king. For example, it moves to d7, you capture the knight. If queen takes, everything is okay. Or, if the pawn takes the bishop, we capture the bishop back. After the queen takes, whatever happens, in this position you are up a pawn. Then, the bishop develops, the knight can become more active, and your queen can be brought to a more distant, powerful spot. Enjoy the game! We move on to the final variation. After the knight captures the pawn, the king takes, the pawn takes. Previously here, the knight hadn't jumped to d7. What if the knight jumps to g4? You don't capture the knight, because then the bishop comes back and takes. So, we activate the bishop with tempo, delivering a check. And after the king goes back, you push the pawn, cutting off the bishop's diagonal to the knight. So then your queen can easily capture the knight. Of course, the knight has to move, and once it goes to the center, counterattack the bishop. What should you play next? Okay, here we go. We play the gambit style, pawn to f4. And after your poisoned bishop is taken, we continue. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Ah, beautiful. Alright friends, chess lovers, that is our trap in the Philidor Defense, the Lockok Gambit. I hope you enjoyed and liked the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell so you always get the latest updates from Chess Tricky. Best regards, stay happy, stay successful. Lastly, take care and thank you. See you again!